Traders, how are you? With Marcello. Today we're doing the recap of what happened in the markets last week. Collapse of the markets, complete massacre of the crypto markets, especially with the Luna crash. We're going to go ahead and explain what that is. The big news for the week, the Luna crash and crypto and Bitcoin news. I know that most people still don't invest in crypto. And if you guys remember, I'm not a big crypto guy, and this is part of the reason why. It's not that you can't make money with crypto. There's just so much. It breaks my heart to see the amount of people that put their life savings in these things and then they lose absolutely everything. So keep that in mind when you're investing. It's not that you can't make money in crypto. It's just that there's a lot of scams. It's not even regulated. So when something happens like the exchanges where they stole money from Canada, for example, you just lose all of your money. And it's, I read a guy that owed the IRS $200,000 in taxes, and now he can't pay it because he lost everything with the Luna crash. There's another guy who's kind of a big wig, I would say. He had $18 million, and now the value of that is $22,000. So just be prudent. Don't just go and invest in these garbage coins just because they say they're going to go up by 1,000,000,000%. If you guys have followed me for a while, I've been big in trading in the financial markets. You're not going to lose all your money. Things like this aren't going to happen in stocks or futures, for example. This is why it's good to diversify, do some long-term stuff, do some short-term stuff, but just be careful out there. So Luna is what's called a stable coin. A stable coin is essentially a crypto coin that's connected to another fiat currency, for example, a dollar or euro, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. So stable coins are like cryptos, but just connected to the dollars or the euros. This one in particular was connected to the US dollar. And part of the problem as well is the fact that we have the dollar exploding to a 20-year high. And that's part of the reason why everything is coming down, because now we have the Fed, the central bank of the United States, deciding to take out the money that they injected into the market. That's why the markets have gone up literally forever, it seems, right? If some of you guys are younger, for example, 20 years old, 25 years old, 30 years old, you guys haven't seen a down market before, because every time that it happens, the plunge protection team from the government comes in and props everything up. And because we've had the seriously low interest rates, which are the lowest interest rates in the history of the world, that forces people to look for higher returns and forces them into risky assets like companies that don't make any money, who always say they're going to make money in the future, for example. So the USD decoupled from the dollar this week, and it sent basically the value of Luna and Terra USD just going to the floor. And just to this is a very high level overview of what happened. If I missed something or you guys want to add something, just put it there in the comments. Okay, it'll help everybody out. But essentially, 75% of the people that had the UST, or the stable coin that is based on connected to the US dollar, was in what's called an anchor savings account where they paid 20%. This was a fixed savings account. So what happened was they changed the formula where they weren't paying the fixed 20% interest rate anymore, and they turned it into a variable rate. This most likely was due to the fact that the US dollar literally just exploded in value, and we're at a 20-year high. So they probably had to ticker some things to keep the value of the peg. So what people normally could do is they could switch between the Terra USD and the Luna, but they could only be switched for one to the other. If you burn Terra, you can get, so you could burn Terra USD. I'm going really fast here, so I'm sorry if you're not following. You could burn Luna to get Terra USD and vice versa. So what ended up happening, because of the change in the interest rate, and because 75% of the Terra USD, which is based on the Luna crypto, was in the savings account where they were paying 25%, people then started getting this money out and converting it into Luna. So what happens when everybody gets into one specific currency? The value goes down. It's like the United States dollar printing dollars. If the amount of the dollars in the market increases, the value of the dollar goes down. It's what's happened to countries like Venezuela. A big, very popular one is Zimbabwe. I still have one of those $1 trillion notes. So that's what happened. So then the percentage of the cost of being able to provide this coupling action, right, the anchor, went up by 40%. So the system where you were allowed to be able to convert these stable coins for one another broke. Value of the Luna collapsed, And now people have lost absolutely everything. I hope, let me know if you guys followed that, or if you want me to do a specific video kind of going through it step by step. But essentially, there's a conversion between Luna and Terra USD, both stable coins, right? And you can't really use Luna for everything because it's not like Bitcoin where people accept it for payment, right? So people had all their money in one of these accounts. They changed the way that they were paying the interest. People didn't want to do it anymore. They got their money out. They tried to convert it to Luna because remember that you can only convert Luna into Terra USD. And then the value of the Luna collapsed, especially when the actually coupling mechanism stopped working because the increase in cost, which was 40%, the system just couldn't take it anymore and it just broke. So please be careful. Like everybody talks about how much money you can make in crypto and you should have done this and you should have done that. Who's talking shit now? Excuse my French. JustinCrypto.com as well was reversing profitable Luna trades from May 12th, claiming users were, quote, incorrectly quoted the price. So you see how these, I mean, it just really infuriates me to see literally the manipulation. And this is partly is what happens when you invest in markets that literally have zero regulation. Crypto.com is one of these huge exchanges. They could just decide, oh, well, you know, imagine investing in Apple and it explodes to the upside for whatever reason, and you make like 10 billion%. And then afterwards, Fidelity or TD Ameritrade or Schwab or Bank of America, any of these big trading houses comes to you and says, hey, guess what? You know those millions of dollars that you just made for this trade on Apple? Well, we're going to have to reverse it because we just quoted you the wrong price. Sorry about that, bud. See how it works? Very, very careful in these markets. Not that you can't make money in crypto, right? You can still make money. It's very volatile. But I'm going to do a video on literally why I don't invest in Bitcoin, because the returns that you can get in a market like futures, which has a lot more leverage, is literally the same as crypto. So if you want to invest something, yeah, do a little percentage. Maybe you can get this, garbage coin that's going to explode like Doge or Shiba, for example. I got some Shiba, right? Just throw some money at it. Just leave it there. If you lose it, oh well. If it goes to a cent, yeah, you're going to become a bajillionaire. But just be careful because the market isn't regulated. And these are the kinds of things that happen. And I'm sure that all of the people that made all this money in the past probably lost everything with this drop. Coinbase, which is the US largest crypto exchange in the world, earnings were extremely bad. They lost $430 million in the last quarter. They had a 19% monthly loss in users, and they're now warning that if they go bankrupt, they could wipe out user funds. So let me get this right. Just follow me here for a second. Let's put on the conspiracy theory hat. Conspiracy Marcello, that's what we're going to call him. The largest crypto exchange in the United States, regulated, approved, overseen by the regulators. If it goes bankrupt, there's a possibility that you could lose all your money. Doesn't that tell you everything? So please, please, please be careful. And one last thing before I get off my soapbox, 55% from its peak in November 2021, we're talking about Bitcoin. And according to a new study, according to Glassnode, 40% of all the holders are now underwater, including the country of El Salvador. Conveniently, the president, Bukele, I think his name is. I know I'm butchering his name. He no longer has the little laser eyes on his Twitter profile, and he no longer has Bitcoin on his Twitter profile. Not so fun anymore, huh, guys? Because it's like a cult, these guys. They attack you in the comments, and I've been saying this for years. Just be careful. You can make money. Of course you can. You can make money with everything. But there's a higher risk that you're going to lose money with crypto and Bitcoin because it's not regulated. And this is the kind of weird stuff that happens in the market. So El Salvador bought 15.5 million worth more Bitcoin, 500 in total. And according to the study in Glassnode, an even higher percentage of 40% of Bitcoin holders are now negative if you include the purchases from the last 6 months. 15.5% of all Bitcoin wallets fell into an unrealized loss as of last month alone. So now everybody's not, all the crypto, come and get your course, you're going to make $1 billion tomorrow. Not so easy anymore, is it, guys? Just be careful out there. Bitcoin for the week went down 23.68%, down 37 and change for the year, over 41%. So remember, Bitcoin has had positive news, right? I'm done with the soapbox. We're going to remove the conspiracy theory hat for now. So one of the best times to buy Bitcoin is when it's had these crashes. And remember what Warren Buffett always says, Be greedy when others are fearful, and be fearful when others are greedy. And people are definitely fearful right now when it comes to crypto. Remember, only educational purposes. This is not trading, legal, or financial advice, only for educational purposes, just to cover my butt there.